A stroke is a very serious condition where the blood supply to part of your brain is cut off. It needs to be treated in hospital as soon as possible. A stroke needs urgent attention, and treatment includes medicines to treat blood clots and sometimes brain surgery. A stroke is sometimes called a brain attack, and it happens in one of two ways: a blocked artery or a ruptured artery. A stroke, sometimes called brain attack, occurs when something blocks blood vessel or blood supply to part of the brain, or when the blood vessel in the brain bursts. Everyone, welcome back to my channel. In my last video where I talked about diseases or illnesses that are top on the list, the first one was heart disease, and from my research, the second one is stroke, and I promised that I'm going to do some research regarding stroke and come up to talk about it. I'm going to make it as simple as possible, the basic things that you need to know. So, for you to know or to recognize stroke, there is something like an abbreviation called BEFAST. B fast. B stands for balance problem. Check if the person is having trouble staying coordinated or balanced. Do they feel dizzy? Are they stumbling sort of thing as they walk? So that's B of the B fast. The E is eyesight issues. Does the person have blurry or blackened vision? Are they seeing double or having other eyesight problems? The next one is F, face drooping. Is one side of the face drooping or numbing? After the person, just looked at you, do they feel, when the person is looking at you, do you notice any drooping on the side of their face? There might be other reasons for this, but this is one of the signs to look out for. You can ask the person to smile and look to see if one side of the mouth is drooping. There are other causes of face drooping, so it doesn't necessarily mean that it will be stroke, but it's good to always check these things out, observe these things. The next one is A, which is arm stands for arm weakness. Check if one arm is weak or numb. Can the person raise the arms at the same time? If both arms are raised, does one slouch or sag below the other? Strokes often affect one side of the body, so arm weakness or leg weakness can be an important sign to watch out for. The S in Be Fast is speech difficulty. Is speech slurred or hard to understand? Is the person confused? Ask the person to repeat a simple phrase and listen to anything strange. And the last letter there, T, is time. It's now time for you to call 911 if you're in America, or 999 if you're in UK, or whatever number you use in the part of the world where you are. So it's time to call 999 here in the UK if someone is experiencing one or more of these stroke symptoms I've just mentioned above, which I listed out. It's time to call 999 and 911 in the US. Again, getting the right care as quickly as possible is important for getting treatment that can help reverse stroke damage. Stroke can cause a big problem, so it's very important to watch out for these signs and act. But we have to obviously start by looking after yourself. Let me quickly talk about different types of strokes that I looked at. So it depends on whether the disruption in blood flow resulted from a blockage or a burst. One is ischemic stroke, where the blood vessels in the brain are blocked by a clot or have become too narrow for blood to get through. The reduction in blood flow causes brain cells in the area to die from lack of oxygen. This is what happens in 80% of strokes. Number two is hemorrhagic stroke, where the blood vessel bursts rather than being blocked. This results in blood leaking into the brain and causing damage. The third one is a subarachnoid hemorrhage. There is bleeding into the area around the brain known as the subarachnoid space. This is usually due to a burst aneurysm, which is a weakness in the blood vessel wall. Sometimes a person will have a transient ischemic attack, which is TIA, transient ischemic attack. TIA, and or the other word for it is mini stroke. This is caused by a temporary disruption in the blood vessel to part of the brain. The individual usually makes a quick recovery, but a TIA must be taken seriously as it can increase the likelihood of a stroke in the future. So let me expatiate on this. I know a number of people in the past who have had a TIA, transient ischemic attack or mini stroke, and they find there's no more weakness in the side of their blood or body or whatever, but you can tell that the way they talk is no longer the way it used to, but they just continue as normal. And the mistake some of these people make is that they just carry on as normal. They don't change their food, they don't change their habit, because obviously there are various things that can predispose you to stroke. Yes, such conditions that can predispose you, or risk factors for stroke quickly, are high blood pressure. That's a big culprit, so you must keep an eye on your blood pressure. Heart disease, I talked about heart disease last time. It can predispose you to stroke. Diabetes, the big elephant in the room. Diabetes can predispose you to strokes, and smoking can also do that. Birth controls or pills for people who use contraceptives, it can actually do that as well. And if you have a history of TIA, like I said before, if you have TIA or mini stroke, take it serious. Don't just continue what you're doing before. And yes, and high cholesterol obviously can predispose you to stroke as well. So these are the risk factors to watch out for. So you can see that all in all, looking after our general health in a nutshell, that's basically what we're talking about. So all these risk factors are things I've talked about in the past on this channel. High blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, smoking, birth control. I've not talked about this before, but it's coming up now, and high cholesterol. So I'm going to leave this video here. This is just a basic information regarding stroke. I might look at other things to do with stroke and come up with more, because stroke is a big deal and it's affecting younger people. I'll come up with a different version of this topic on stroke, but I don't like my videos to be too long. So please watch to the end, and I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye and God bless.